landscape painting. The history of landscape painting is what we will look at tonight, starting with and in the future, and starting tonight with English landscape painting. So here's Turner, and I know you've all seen this one, but it was around this time, the late how do I get the in the 1800s, early 1800s, that English landscape painting changed during the time of Turner very dramatically, and it became a lot more expressive. And in a sense, it was paving the way for Impressionism. So the way the paint was applied, the painterliness of it, that was what was new about this way of painting. And these artistic geniuses, as they're sometimes called, that we're going to look at tonight, were hailed as the rising stars of English Romanticism. Okay. And here's what I thought was a striking contrast, but it was one of Turner's watercolor studies of the waves.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know,
I
he
mean,
does have color in it, but it's so subtle. And
exactly.
the subject matter, the wave itself captures you. You don't think of the color. I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, no, but it is there, and even here, there's not a lot of color. What we think
True.
of, it's not highly chromatic. But look at the power that he gets out of it, and
Oh,
even the
yeah.
watercolor
Mm. Yeah,
sketch.
it's the form, very unique.
Yeah, and this is oops, I went too far. There is a story about Turner that he once tied himself to the mast of a ship during a storm so he could study it and paint it later. And this actually is the painting that was inspired by it.
He supposedly he tied himself to the mast for 4 hours in a storm.
4 hours, that's what I read. You're right. And he later said, I did not expect to escape, but I felt bound to record it if I did.
Hmm.
Well, they did have a lot of ocean disasters in the time in which he painted. So, yeah, I can see how he would think he was going to die.
And this actually, I might be getting a little bit no, all right. This is a Turner, believe it or not. And this is called Dolbadarn Castle from 1800. So he wasn't just like a splashy cloud and wave painter. He could paint like this as well. And it's very dramatic because it's a very strong contrast of the two-thirds of the painting is very, very dark and the sky is very, very light.
The thing I am drawn to is that window in the castle.
Yeah, yeah.
If he didn't have that window, it would be such a dull picture, and that just really
That's a good
strikes
point.
me.
Yeah. And in a sense that the figure down at the bottom, that the light's reflecting off what appears to be a shield. And it does the same thing in the lower part of the painting. In fact, it aligns itself vertically with the castle, doesn't it?
Yes.
So we do have an implied vertical between the shield and the low window in the castle tower.
Well, his clouds are still spectacular.
The clouds are there, and they're quite,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. Okay, here's another Turner. This is called the Pass of St. Gothard in Switzerland from 1803. And it's a very dramatic painting. Anything that guy did was seemed to be have a lot of drama in it. But it was in Europe at this time, there was a tradition of European painters. It was called the Grand Tour. And they would travel to Italy in particular to paint the ancient ruins and complete their classical education while they were in Italy. So they didn't just learn materials and techniques, they learned the history of painting in Europe at the time. And part of that included going to Italy to study it. Um, and it was this time when they took these trips. There were no, I don't think there were even any trains, but so how people did things like that back then, I don't know. But they would have been traveling a lot on the road there and back. And some people think that was really the beginning of plein air painting. since they had everything with them, they would just set up along the way and do these little paintings.
So Charles, then do you think that he like got off the train for a day or something? I mean, that's a very developed picture for a plein air.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying this one in particular was.
Yeah.
They did plenty of studies and completed larger paintings based on it in the studio.
Well, I even like the rocks, the sunlight in the rocks,
I know.
which would seem to be a very dull subject, but it isn't at all.
And you don't need to have pretty subject matter, do you? It's hard to. Would you say this is almost an abstract painting?
Mm-hmm.
It could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daring. What's one very daring thing he does is put that sharp angled shadow on the left across.
Yes.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, that directs you to I guess he's above the clouds there, or there's a cloud in the valley or mist or something.
Yeah, it's a mountain pass in Switzerland. So how he got there, I couldn't even begin to imagine. It looks like there's some kind of building or bridge in there, but they were pretty rugged back then.
Definitely not the Sound of Music kind of Switzerland.
No, no. Okay, so here's Constable now, and this is again probably his most famous painting, the Hay Wain. And one of the little tricks that Constable used to bring his landscapes to life was to find places where he could put little dashes of red paint here and there to bring resonance to all that green and brown. So where's the red?
Saddlebags,
What?
saddlebags and
The saddles. Yeah, they're on the
Yeah.
horse saddles.
the roof and the chimney. Well, they're not as red.
Kind of a red, burnt red, yeah. But especially the strong red on the saddles, almost in the center, lower center of the painting. You can find that in Corot too, but Constable was known for it. And here's a close-up detail of the wagon.
Well, if he didn't have the red on the horses, you'd probably have trouble seeing them from the bushes.
Well, yeah, if he painted the brown saddle, dark brown,
Right.
yeah, you're right. It would blend right in.
I don't know if this is an identified one, but in England, quite often they will have a plaque that's up by a scene where John Constable painted.
Oh. I'm interested in all the little flecks of white. I don't know if this is a good photo of it, but there's a guy's head down there swimming too, isn't there? Is that a head?
Wait,
don't
Charles,
know.
I'm looking. I don't see it.
The lower, very lower right.
Yeah, it could be. Or a
Maybe.
rock.
Or a rock, okay. Okay, here's another Constable, and I just think this one is particularly beautiful.
Mhm.
See if I can make this bigger. And I don't know, you do see the red of the guy's vest on the right-hand side, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Oh, yeah.
In the boat.
yeah, in the boat, yeah. Idyllic pastoral scene, and it's just lovely.
I really like that. I would definitely hang that one in my house.
What do you think of the little black birds flying around up there? Yes or no?
I can't see them.
Okay.
I see him now that you pointed him out.
Oh, wait, it's
I-
kind of in near the middle.
They're all over. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the
Yeah.
cloud, yeah.
Usually I think that's cumbersome, but he pulls it off. They don't bother me. It seems believable. All right, here is another Constable. Very simple, kind of like looks like Andrus. Remember Andrus?
Yes.
We were telling you, he didn't put a vertical in it, did he?
Well, as you were talking about the last pictures and this one, I was thinking I hadn't added the birds yet, and the birds could be the vertical.
That's right, they could. A vertical column of birds.
Yeah, well, or a kind of arcing, or
Yeah, yeah.
The implied vertical.
Well, and
paint
also the
one-
clouds have a lot of color in them, and look at the arches in the clouds. You could
Yeah,
put
there
some,
is
Yeah.
movement going on in that way. But also, a lot of these were just little studies. This is called Hampstead Heath with bathers, so they're swimming down there.
Mhm.
And you know, he's probably doing a little plein air study and not thinking out a grand composition
Mhm.
like
But
we
But
do.
he did mix red in. You know, there's quite a bit of reddish kind of brown.
Earth, yeah.
Do you see the bank on the right-hand side? It seems like the direction of the brush is straight up. So while might not be a tall tree or anything like that, depicting a vertical, I think to me that is a elevation in there that is straight up.
What's straight up?
There is a bank on the
Okay.
right-hand side, and
Yeah.
the strokes are straight up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right. So to me, there is, a drop in the terrain in there,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
makes it vertical to me.
Yeah. Okay.
There's kind of a swirl to the
Yeah.
whole painting as you come up from there and then
Mhm.
up to about the top middle
Yeah.
That's right.
that like just kind of naturally brings your eye around and then you
Oh.
kind of have to slide down the left side again.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're thinking about how the eye moves through the painting. And here's another constable. This is a beautiful one. I've looked at this so many times. Seascape study with rain cloud from 1824. And Constable was one of the people at this time who turned away from the academic tradition of copying from old paintings and instead painted plein air. And he had a big influence on Corot and the Barbizon school, which came immediately after this in France. But doesn't that just capture?
That's the way the rain is coming down in the distance, and that is so difficult to portray. But when
Yeah.
I see it, I know that's what it is.
Well, he's not illustrating a storm, he's making a storm on the painting.
well, and also you've got really strong verticals there in the
Yeah.
rain with a very strong horizontal base.
You're right. And a strong diagonal on the left.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
think that diagonal is maybe like sunlight blasting through the clouds. I'm not sure.
Okay. So here is what? What is this? It's another constable, but in a watercolor, and of course, he painted Stonehenge.
Only it fell down. I think it's in better repair now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've been there and read a fair amount about it, but I never read about it. This was probably reconstructed. But it's a beautiful painting. Again, look at the drama in the sky. And of course, being from England, he probably had familiarity with it. And I didn't realize this, but I found quite a few very beautiful studies of Stonehenge. This is Thomas Burton, after Thomas More, which we'll see next, but it's called Stonehenge During a Thunderstorm in watercolor.
Wow.
So it's
You know
not
what-
enough to paint Stonehenge. They have to put a storm in it too.
Well, also, I'm surprised because, you know, in England, the grass is so green because it rains almost every day.
Yeah. But Stonehenge is, to me, it's just endlessly interesting. And here's one more. It's just a pen and ink watercolor study by this artist James Moore from 1791. Beautiful old study.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this guy Thomas Gurton. And what I love about doing Art 90 on getting ready for it is I discover all these great painters I didn't know about, like this Thomas Girton. This is called the White House at Chelsea.
Oh, is that what that house is? That white one?
I guess so, but it's a watercolor from 1800. Very sublime.
It kind of reminds me of that red house we saw on a plein air when we were up near Lake Orion. Remember, everybody painted the red house, and here
Oh,
everything is pulled towards the White House, even the
yeah,
reflections in the water.
yeah. Um, I'm always a little hesitant about giving you these rules, like a landscape has to have a strong vertical in it. Because you find all these great paintings that don't do that, like this one. I wouldn't want to see a telephone pole in this or anything
No,
like that.
no, no.
But it's just such a beautiful. And here's another Joseph Wright. I don't even know who he was. This is perhaps the most beautiful one in the whole set tonight. It's called Italian Landscape. So again, they were going to Italy to study from 1790.
Wow, you have to wonder how many subdivisions are on those hills now.
Yeah, I don't even want to
It's
think.
very beautiful.
And look what he does he uses mostly cool greens and this cool blue sky. He puts a red earth color in the foreground. And then in the middle ground, he uses this strange magenta color.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I like it.
I like it too. I never would have thought of that.
But
With-
Yeah, no.
Maybe the earth suggested it that he saw. I don't know, but I certainly
Well,
wouldn't have thought of it.
It could be. We'll just never. I don't know. We could go there, I suppose, and find out. But it's just to me, it's just one of these paintings. I'm so glad I've lived long enough to discover it, even in just reproduction.
Yeah.
So here's a couple with Thomas Gainsborough. He was so famous as a portrait painter, but he painted these beautiful landscapes, 1748. Um, it's poorly it's out of focus. And then here's another one where he does have the people in it. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Andrews. So he's painting their portrait, but look at that landscape. It's just astoundingly beautiful.
But they were quite wealthy, so that's probably part of their estate.
Yeah. Yeah. And how they get the dog, how they ever paint a dog like that is beyond me without cameras.
Well,
So here's this guy, again, I'd never heard of, Richard Wilson. This is Dover Castle from 1746. Oil on canvas.
so then are those the white cliffs of Dover below the castle? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I thought about that, but I just don't know. It very well could be, but it's just the painting has a feeling of atmosphere.
There's
Like
a
that
plein air
here.
painter. There's a plein air painter in it.
He was a plein air painter?
Yeah, in the lower left, in the dark.
Yes.
Oh, I did not even know.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
I can't imagine he did this plein air, but he may have started at plein air. And that's really cool that he put that in there. So,
If I put on a tri-corner hat, will I paint better?
yeah. That could be, but I want the next plein air. I want to see myself in every one of your paintings now that
Then maybe after you see how terrible my rendering is, you won't want to be in it. Oh, dear.
he does it. Would you see the little red something in there?
Yeah,
All right. But it just has a feeling of, as I said, airiness about it, like fresh air, and you want to be out there. Okay, here's another Richard Wilson. And this is kind of cool because it's a painting of this place. I'll never pronounce it. It's in Old English, Cader Idris Lin Wai Kao. You have to
Wow.
look it up. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but 1764, it's some kind of feature in the earth, a pond or something. And it's very peculiar, I think. It's just an intriguing painting.
I think we have a lake like that over in Oregon or Washington.
Oh,
It's near the ocean and it has this cup thing that collects water, and you can only see it from an airplane.
well, there are things like that, pools of water, and he did a great job. He turned it into an interesting painting. It's like an X that you see the X form in the lower third in the center.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
And he did not go for the red coat or anything. You don't see that. But just to prove to you that he painted realistically, I found a photograph of it.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So he got it. He got it basically. Maybe he exaggerated for the interest of the composition. I think he did, but still. Okay, so this is the last painting I wanted to kind of bring it up to the current. Well, look, I don't have a date for this, but a woman named Constance Helen Bradshaw called Cottages at Nancledra, oil painting. And I just think it's a lovely, fresh little painting.
Well, Charles, all those white spots are bothering me.
Well, I'm seeing that you see it in certain painters, and sometimes it bothers me, and other times it doesn't. And this one, it does not.
Oh,
What they do is they kind of allow the eye to kind of be activated on a different level than the painting itself. It's the imagery of the painting. And when it works, I think in this case, it works very well to do that. It's like sparklers or something,
oh,
Um,
Ah,
I
I got it.
all right.
ah,
I like to
Yeah.
leave you laughing. So
Cute.
thank you. It's always enjoyable.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I enjoyed these artists.
Yes.
Okay. Now get to work. I want to see, like I tell you that I expect to see the influence of this in your work, and I expect you to point it out to me because I might not notice it. But I was thinking about that artist that you showed, and you have the names in the email. And I looked at him again and I thought, well, I'm going to do something kind of like that. That's kind of how the growth is. If you're going to grow in your work at this point, that's how it's going to take place mostly. Trust me, I've been through it.
Well, if you see white spots in my pictures, it's that I just didn't fix them yet.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
interesting.
All right. I guess we're done. I'll see you in class this week and hopefully on Friday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.